Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the interactive session on the theme Dialogue, Democracy and Human Rights. And our today's session will be delivered by a guest speaker, Dr. Yugal Rayalu, sir. Dr. Yugal is an educator and a Karmveer Chakra awardee. He holds a PhD in English literature and has recently retired as the head of Department of Vocational Education at Dharampeth MP Deo Memorial Science College in Nagpur, Maharashtra. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Yugal, sir, to deliver the session. So we have about 2 hours for the session. In the first half, we can have a talk by you, and in the second half, we can make the session more interactive. So I request all the participants to engage directly with our guest by asking questions, and feel free to share your insights and reflections. And you can also raise demands for clarification in case you have any doubts. Also, before we start, I request all the participants to make the session more lively. So please keep your camera switched on throughout this session. So now I will hand it over to you. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, friends. When I say good afternoon, I think you also should say good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. The mic was off actually.
I am a teacher, no? So everything has to be in order, systematic, in discipline, and in the best spirit. So anyway, I'm thankful to my friend and my fellow traveler, Mr. Fatemi, whom we met in Nagpur and we decided about this program. Thanks to Madam Joya Ansari for introducing me. I have two requests. Number one is let us not keep any limitation of language. Anybody can ask. I know I can easily understand Hindi, English, bit Urdu, and of course Marathi and Telugu I know. So you can ask in any language. Let there be no compulsion of talking in English, number one. Number two, anytime you want to raise a question, you're free. So anytime. As Madam has said that I'll deliver a lecture for about half the session, 1 hour, and later on. But still, there may be some issues where you want to raise an issue, raise it, no problem. This is our session. Let us make, as Zoya Madam has said, let us make it more lively. I'm going to present the lecture through a PowerPoint presentation. I hope you will all be comfortable with it. Is it okay? Yes, friends. So let us start. When we talk of democracy, the difference between monarchy, because as the human history has progressed from monarchy to democracy, feudalism to democracy, monarchy, however good, however beautiful it is rule of one king over hundreds and thousands and millions of subjects. Good or bad, I'm not saying. It is for each of you to decide. But this is a fact. And as compared to it, democracy is ruled by citizens on themselves. We say that the most important people in democracy are not sitting in the parliament or in the chambers of ministry or the prime minister or the president. No. The most important people in a democracy are the people, the citizens. And remember there is a difference. Here I'm using the word subject, and here I'm using the word citizens. Right from the President of India to the driver of the President of India, both are citizens of this country. As far as the citizenship is concerned, nobody's owner is the servant. We are all same, unlike in the monarchy. So in democracy, it is ruled by citizens on themselves. We rule ourselves. Nobody else rules. When I'm saying this, please try to understand, I'm not talking in terms of religious connotation, like who's the most powerful. No, I'm not talking in those terms. I'm talking on this earth, in India, within the boundaries of India, the people of India are the supreme people. In another country, the people of that country are supreme. They have the authority to elect a government, and they have the authority to dethrone a government. If we look at the preamble of the Constitution of India, it is my earnest desire and request that each one of you please read the preamble of the Constitution of India with a little bit of serve any purpose when you read the entire Constitution, which is 300 pages and all that. But you can read the preamble of the Constitution of India. Let us read. What does it say? We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens. Now, here comes the question: who is doing it? Read the first statement. We, the people of India. We are not doing it in name of God, in name of Allah, or in name of Jesus, in name of Ramakrishna. No, we are making this declaration in the name of the people of India. We, the people of India. And we have solemnly, based on truth, constitute into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens. What are those? Yes. We are respecting the diversity of the country because we are restoring to each and every one. So we are diversity. Then we are respecting the inclusiveness. We are not. The most important thing I found that even there is no mention of gender in the preamble. The preamble doesn't say he or she. 1950, they have said we. It is male, female, and others. No problem. Anybody who is born in India and who is a citizen of India, he has to respect the diversity, and the people have to respect welfare state. It is a welfare state. We have to work for the welfare of the people of the country. This is what is the direction of the Constitution. Why secular democracy? Many people ask us now the present regime, I'll not go into the details. They are talking in a different language, which was not used early. And they are questioning sometimes, some of them, why India should be secular. That answer I'm giving because India is multi-ethnic, multi-linguistic, and multicultural. Friends, you look at any country around India, any country, name the country and you will not find it is multi-ethnic. One or two ethnic groups. Bangladesh, 2 or 3 ethnic groups. Pakistan, maybe 4 ethnic groups. How many languages in Pakistan? 4 or 5. In India, we have 3,500 languages spoken today. Ethnic groups, within Maharashtra, I can tell you, we have at least 6 or 7 different ethnic groups. In Karnataka, North Kurg speaks a different language. South Karnataka speaks a different Kannada. Andhra Pradesh, the Telugu of Andhra is different than the Telugu of Telangana. It is multilinguistic. Hindi of Bihar is quite different from Hindi of Uttar Pradesh and is definitely different from Madhya Pradesh. Multicultural. I was just day before yesterday, I was in Kerala. Kerala's cultural identity is quite different. You ask any Keralite, who are you? He'll say, I'm a Malayali. Then he will say, I'm a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian. First thing is, I'm a Malayali. So it is multicultural. You cannot have a single culture in India, single language. Some people are talking one nation, one language, one family. Sorry, sir. That is anathema to the idea of India. India is multicultural, multi-families, multi-language, everything is multi, and 3,500 languages. Nowhere else in the world we have this kind of diversity as that is in India. We should be proud of that diversity. So that's why secular democracy. And what the Constitution envisages to give? Justice, social justice, economic justice, and political justice. If you say that a transgender cannot contest for the post of mayor of a city, you are stopping his or her political justice. In India, the constitution does not mar or bar a transgender or a person without a sexual identity, gender identity to contest. Everybody has the right. Similarly, social and economic justice. Social justice is important. Bilkis Bano, she requires social justice. We need to give her. The rapists must be inside the jail. Whatever is my faith, that should I keep away. And as a citizen of India, I must demand justice to Bilkis Bano, or say that poor girl in Hathras, or anybody else. And of course, economic. You cannot boycott a particular community on the terms of business. It is against the Constitution of India. You cannot boycott. It is an anti-constitution. Similarly, the most important aspect of the preamble of the Constitution of India is the liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Some people want that this country has not done, that country has not done. Whole of Middle East is Islamic. Nepal was Hindu Rashtra. Some countries are Christian and India is secular. Yes. Because as I said, we are multi-ethnic, multi-religious, multi-linguistic. So every citizen of the country has a liberty of thought, whatever way I want to think. I may think Allah runs the earth, fine. I may think Rama, Krishna runs the earth, fine. And I think nobody runs the earth, fine. Liberty of thought, expression. As I said, in a court, I can go and say that, Your Honor, I can't understand English. So it will be the duty of the judge to arrange for an interpreter. Belief, what I believe, what kind of faith. All this, no single citizen can dictate on anybody else. So we have liberty of thought, expression, belief, and faith and worship. And the same constitution, same democratic institution, democratic mechanism. The institution of democracy in India gives the equality of status and opportunity, equality of status. How much money Bilkis Bano's husband earned doesn't matter. In front of the constitution, Bilkis Bano has same rights as Draupadi Murmu, the Honorable President of India. My daughter has the same right as the daughter of maybe the governor of Maharashtra. No problem. And to promote among all them fraternity. In spite of all this, I cannot say I will not talk to Arafat Ahmed Bhatt just because I don't like him. I'll have to talk to him if he comes to my college. I'll have to teach him. And Arafat has to talk to me if he comes to my college, because we are both citizens. Hey, there is no choice. Dignity of the individual. Every human being, every citizen. I'm sorry, my throat is not well, so I'm sipping a little bit hot water. So friends, assuring dignity of the individual and integrity of the nation. Every individual has to have a dignity. I'm sorry to give an example. Even if a prostitute comes to the court, the judge or the opponent advocate, nobody has a right to demean that prostitute or insult that prostitute because of what she's doing. Because in the court of law, that lady is just a citizen of India. What she does for living is none of the business of the people living in that, standing in the court. That is what we call as dignity of the individuals. Now, when I'm talking all about the individual has to contribute something so as to integrate with the idea of this nation, that is democratic idea. This is what, and finally, give to ourselves this constitution. When you, at the beginning, we the people of India, having solemnly decided and give to ourselves, try to understand. The person who gives is the master, is the owner. So by that definition, who is the owner of this country? 135 crore, 1300 million people, citizens of this country, are the owners of this country. It's not just few governors or chief ministers or the prime minister or the president. No, we the people of India, everyone, Kashmir to Kanyakumari, Gujarat to West Bengal, Northeast, South, Dravid, Gangetic Plains, the hills of Kashmir, everywhere, every single citizen is the owner, master of this great country. Yet, we are giving to us. It means we all are the servants of this country simultaneously. This dichotomy, this dvand, this has to be understood. If you want to understand religiously, understand. We say that Upar Allah hai, niche Parvardigar. So, aham brahmasti, Maya, Atma and the Brahma. So you can understand that way also. But I understand as a citizen of this country, I am the owner of this country. And as a citizen, I am also the servant. It means the president of India is not the owner alone. The moment she steps down from the post of president, she becomes ordinary like you and me. She has to obey all the laws and regulations of the country. She will just be a citizen of India. Simple. On the post, she is the president. Fine. So we are all the masters and we are all the servants of this country. That is the greatness of our democratic institution. The truth. Since nobody has asked questions, I am coming back. The Constitution bestows upon us equality. Here we have two responsibilities. Treat everybody as equal and demand to be treated as equal, both. I have to treat all of my students as my equals, but at the same time, the Vice Chancellor of Nagpur University or the principal of my college must also treat me equal to him or her. Equality is both ways, give and take in a democracy. In monarchy, it doesn't happen. It is one way, from the citizens to the monarch, to the king. But in democracy, it is two ways, and equalities. And remember, the word is simple, equality. It has no religious dimension. It has no gender dimension. A husband cannot tell his wife, listen, I am superior to you. No way, sir. Husband and wife are equal. I'm talking in terms of the Constitution. At home, I don't know. I won't interfere into that. But as a citizen, as the democracy, as the democratic institution, both are same, equality. Myself and my maidservant are equal. We both has only one vote. My wife has one vote. My maidservant has one vote. My rickshawala has one vote. So we are all equal. That is the meaning. And because we are equal, it is pertinent that we all get justice. Every type of justice. It won't be that the son of the chief minister will get a higher salary and the son of a peon will get a lower salary when they both work as teachers in the same school. No. That they will both get the same salary irrespective whether one is from a royal family or one is a son of a sweeper. No. Justice meant for all. And the most important thing that our constitution and democracy bestows upon us is the freedom. I am free to decide all the issues of my life. If I want to wear burqa, I have right to wear burqa. If I don't want to wear burqa, nobody should compel me to wear burqa. I want to send my children for education outside India, it's my duty. I don't want to send, it's my right. So freedom to take decisions. Now, dialogue. I've written 3 statements. Why do we require dialogue? So that we understand each other. Whether it is interfaith, inter-religion, inter-region, or anything. Dialogue is very important to understand each other. And when this dialogue stops, there is a chasm, there is a gap, and all sort of misinformation starts, as happening today. Unfortunately, in India, the dialogue has been hampered. I cannot speak openly, but try to understand. The dialogue has been injured. And if you don't make India as a giant family, somebody was talking of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world as a family. Before making world as a family, let us make our country as a family. And what happens? When a girl is raped and murdered in Hathras, I, in Nagpur, go and stand in the main square demanding that get justice to that girl from Hathras. Get justice to Nirbhaya. And today I am demanding get justice to Bilkis Bano. I demand. Workers are not paid salary in Mumbai. I demand from here because they are my family members. So dialogue, without dialogue, what we are doing today just now between you and me, we are having a dialogue. And a dialogue has to be two-way so that we are becoming a big family. Dialogue is very important so that we are able to work together. All of India has to work together. Whatever we fight in the name of regionalism or language, people fight. But yesterday I was in Kerala. The entire workforce in the building construction in Kerala is from Bengal. I was in a city called Kozhikode. So all the citizens are speaking Malayalam. But the workers who are there working under them, making buildings, they're all Bengalis from West Bengal, some of them from Chhattisgarh, yet Bengalis. So I asked them, how do you communicate? They said, we understand a little Malayalam. And the builders, I asked, yes, we have started understanding a little bit of Bengali. And when we don't understand this, we use broken English and thoda Hindi. So when the dialogue happens, Kerala develops. When Kerala develops, the workers of West Bengal, they get better payment. Their parents get good money in Bengal, in the villages of Bengal, and both of them are benefited. So it is a dialogue which makes understand each other. We become a family and we are able to work together. It is the beauty of this country. Long time back, there was a person in Maharashtra, I will not name. He said, let us stop the people coming from Uttar Pradesh. Immediately, the then Prime Minister intervened and said, no. There can never be a permit system in India. People are free to move from one part of the country to another part of the country. There will never ever be a permit system. It arose when Lalu Prasad Yadav wanted to come to Mumbai to take part in Chhat Puja. Biharis celebrate Chhat Puja in a big way. And some politicians in Mumbai said, no, we won't allow Lalu Prasad Yadav to come. But the court said, no, nobody can stop anyone from visiting any place because we are a giant family. We have to learn to work together. You go to Bangalore, I was there. You have information technology experts from all the country, everywhere, every nook, and we have a number of people from Jammu and Kashmir. We are from Nagaland, Manipur, Assam. Then we have Punjab, Haryana. If you go to any IT sector and you'll find people speaking 20, 30 different languages there. We have to work together. So, and when you have to work together, you have to have dialogue. You cannot use the language of boycott. Try to understand what I'm trying to say. Some people are engaging in a politics of boycott. Mahatma Gandhi did that with a very important and very pious intention. That was to liberate India from the clutches of British Empire. Then he said, boycott the British cloth. But now, anything and everything manufactured by anybody and everybody in India belongs to me. He or she is my brother, my sister. Why should I talk of boycotting my own fellow citizens? No, there has to be dialogue, good or bad. The dialogue is important. Recently, I was in a procession, and our procession, it was a religious procession. So when the procession passed through a mosque, the azan started in mosque. The entire procession stand still. They stopped their DJ, mic, everything. When the Ajahn, till the Ajahn completed, after the Ajahn completed, this man went and talked to the Maulana. Can we now start? The Maulana came out, thanked the, procession. He even said, we'll offer you water. And the procession went on. That is the importance. That is the beauty of dialogue. Otherwise, I want to impress you, you want to impress me. That is not dialogue. Anyway, I'll go ahead. Roadblocks in dialogue. There are roadblocks in dialogue today. The first roadblock is identity politics. Worst thing to happen to any democracy. Any democracy, I'm saying, not just India. Any democracy anywhere in the world. The oldest democracy in the world, United States of America, because of the identity politics, had seen a very dirty things happening 6 years back in Capitol Hill. When people belonging to a particular race went up to the Capitol Hill saying that if Donald Trump is not elected, we'll capture the Capitol Hill. That is identity politics. And the entire administration was woken up from the slumber. Unfortunately, that identity politics is entering into our democracy through the back door. What is the big problem with the identity politics? We are made to identify ourselves as this caste or this religion or this region, forgetting the very important aspect that I'm just a citizen of this country. The Constitution recognized me not as Yugal Rayalu. No, the Constitution recognized me as a citizen only. For the Constitution, I'm not Hindu, I'm not Muslim, I'm not Telugu, I'm not Bengali, I'm not this caste, that caste. I'm just a citizen. And for 70 years, we were able to maintain. Of course, there were aberrations. I understand, I agree, there were aberrations. But by and large, we were steering clear away from the identity politics. But suddenly, since last few years, this identity politics has entered our political domain. Unfortunately, it has also entered our social domain. And day before yesterday, whatever is happening to Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika Padukone is an example of dirty type of identity politics. My simple say is that if you don't like a cinema, if you don't like a song, don't go and don't visit. But you don't tell the entire nation this is wrong. How can I decide? I'm not a filmmaker. I don't understand cinematography. I don't understand the nuances of direction. So how can I tell any director how to make a movie or not to make a movie? And the clothes that Deepika Padukone wore, it is her best judgment. She is an educated lady, married lady. She and her husband will decide what is good and bad. Why should I decide sitting in Nagpur what is good for or not wrong? And then the worst thing, the most unfortunate thing, give a religious color to entire episode. That is very unfortunate, and that is the nadir to which the identity politics have gone, that the color of the clothes, what Deepika Padukone is wearing, that decides the politics there. That is not good. So roadblocks in dialogue is identity politics. We have to get away from that. And of course, injustice. Unfortunately, when Bilkis Bano's case appeared, she was identified not as a woman. She was identified as a Muslim woman. And there, the moment anybody identifies Bilkis Bano as a Muslim woman, that person is killing the spirit of the Constitution of India. He has killed the 100 years of the freedom struggle, the purity of the freedom struggle, the identity of the freedom struggle. Bilkis Bano should not be identified with any religion. She is a victim of one of the severest types of crime. So when injustice is done, there is a roadblock in dialogue. When you do justice, the dialogues open. When you do justice to more people, there is better and better and better dialogue. So one of the roadblocks in dialogue is identity politics and injustice. When we talk of democracy, I'm nobody to give you a democracy. Prime Minister of India is nobody to give me democratic rights. Or the court of law is nobody to give me. That has been given to me as my right as a citizen of this country. It is the right of every citizen. Democracy, when we call of democracy. Why I'm asking question, I'll ask a question to you all. If the quality of democracy is bad, if the parliament has become corrupt, if the legislative assembly of Maharashtra has become corrupt, who is responsible? Most of you will say the leaders. I'll say no. You and I are also equally responsible, because it is the right of every citizen. With the right, it is also the responsibility of every citizen. Did I ask the person whom I voted what would be his policies? Did I ask whether he will stand with the victim of Nirbhaya case? Or will he stand with Bilkis Bano? Or he will stand with the rapists? Or will he stand with me in Citizens CAA, CRS? Or he will stand with the Home Minister of India? I did not ask him. So I said, he belongs to my religion, he belongs to my caste. I voted. And today I'm complaining, this fellow is neither sensitive nor intelligent, and he's talking nonsense. Nobody put gun to my head to vote to that man. It was my freedom to vote. I voted, and the Morbi bridge collapsed. So if I vote again for the same corrupt people, 10 more bridges will collapse. And I'm crying on the rooftop that the assembly of Gujarat is corrupt. Sorry, it is the right of every citizen to vote. It is a responsibility of every citizen also to keep democracy functional, to keep democracy in the right way, and keep democracy alive. It is not the responsibility of 542 members of parliament sitting in parliament, or 282 members of legislative assembly of Maharashtra assembly. No, it is the duty of 10 crore Maharashtrians to keep the democracy alive in Maharashtra, and 130 crore Indians to keep democracy alive. And lastly, democracy is the tool for all decisions. Do I protest? Any time when the bureaucracy commits a mistake? Do I protest when a woman is troubled in the bus? Do I protest when the examination results are not declared in time? So I'm not using democracy properly. In Marathi, we have a saying, "Tu chal mi ye to." It means, you carry on, I'll come from behind. That approach will never solve the problem. The approach has to be, let us all go together and march in tandem so that we are able to solve the problem. That is what I mean to say democracy, human rights. Why democracy is good? Because all humans are equal. This is the only form of governance where the last of the last man, last of the last woman has a right, not otherwise. When the Constitution of India was being written, there was a demand. If you can read the proceedings of the Constituent Assembly, there were two members of a particular group. And what they demand? What was their demand? They demanded at least make the ownership of a piece of land the basic criteria for voting rights. And in the beginning, they had said at least 20 acres. Then they came down 2 acres. But thanks to somebody like Dr. Ambedkar, Nehru, Maulana Azad, that they were all educated in Europe, and equality, fraternity, and liberty. These ideas, they brought with them, and they said, no. When we talk of equality, equality should not have any reason, any dimension. Equality itself is a dimension. Equality itself is a standard So all humans are equal. At the stroke of the pen, 26th November 1949, when the Constitution was submitted to the President of India, these equal rights were sealed, and as you know, on 26th January, they were bestowed upon us. All humans are equal and all have the same needs. Let us understand. Sometimes in my college, some people say, yeah, this bloody hawker sitting on the road. I said, they are sitting on the road because they have no other place to go and earn. And by earning themselves, they are not putting any load on the government of India, government of Maharashtra, or government of Nagpur. They have their products. They are vegetable vendors. They grow vegetable, bring it to Nagpur and sell it. And people are very happy when the vegetables are available next door. So they go and buy. The legislature has failed. The bureaucracy has failed to provide proper arrangement for them, for these vendors, other than the roads where they can go and sell their goods. I'm not supporting their encroaching upon the road. No, I'm not supporting. But what I'm saying, well, all have the same needs. The young child of a vegetable vendor also needs milk. The young daughter or a son also needs school education. His parents need medical facility. And to do all that, he has to go and earn money. Where will he earn? Either the government should give some alternative, or he will sit on the payment to do it. And people like me who are well-to-do, have got a car and a bungalow and everything, will say, oh, these bloody dirty people, they are creating nonsense on the roads. Yet the vegetable to my home comes from the same vendor. Then I don't mind. That's wrong. We should understand, when we talk of human rights, all humans on this earth, every human being, every human, I'm saying every means every, not 99.9% or 90 something, every 100% humans have the same needs: hunger, clothing, housing, education, medical facilities. These are very important requirements, needs, and they are human rights. Whether to give them a place of worship or not, that can be discussed. But giving them food, giving them the right to earn food is the basic fundamental question. Giving a sense of dignity to all the women is a fundamental question. Giving proper medical care to all the elderly people is the fundamental question that has to be asked to the people in power. Then we are saying that we have democracy, we have dialogue, and through democracy and dialogue, we have human rights. Human rights cannot be in isolation. And sometimes I found people in power saying, these bloody human rights people, they stop everything. What? You want to make a big dam that will displace 1 lakh families, which means almost about 5 lakh citizens that will displace. Do you know what is the meaning of displacement? How does it mean when you're asked to go away from your family, the house where you are born, where your father was born, where your grandfather was born, and you are told, leave that house. By reducing the height of the dam by some just 10 meters, you can save 50,000 people's house. What is wrong? Don't they have the human rights? But in our mind, those Adivasis, half-naked Adivasis, they don't deserve all the human rights because they are not educated. I was traveling in Chhattisgarh. The seats were empty. One woman entered, an elderly woman, and she sat on the floor. I said, why don't you sit on the chair? She said, no, that is not meant for us. I was disturbed. I said, no, Dadi, you sit on the bench. She said, no, our masters means zamindars, they will beat us. This is 50 or 60 years after independence. So we are not respecting all human rights. So all have the needs. And when we respect the needs of every human being, in China, in Europe, there was a movement, right to pee. Now some woman will say, what nonsense. Right to pee means in Europe and in China, if a woman has to go to washroom, it is the responsibility of the government to see that she has a washroom available within half a kilometer wherever she's standing. This is the rule. Right to pee. Because in India, we don't bother. Indian women sustain the pressure and everything, and they, because of the so many things, they will keep on going like that, and unless they go home, they cannot relieve themselves. So what I sometimes think that men can relieve on the road. What will the woman do? Because we don't have that kind of vision where we are able to understand the rights of every person. And last point here, if you see, all have the same 98% genes, scientifically speaking. Entire humanity shares 90% of the genes, same. In 2% of the genes, your face becomes different. I become, say, black, you become fair, I become short, you become tall. One becomes yellow, one becomes white race, one becomes the African, or one becomes European. But 90% of the genes are common, so we cannot differentiate between the human rights of a European and the human rights of a black woman in Namibia. We cannot. So human rights have to be there. So friends, to get human rights, we need democracy. Because as I said, in democracy, the people are supreme. And to get democracy, we need dialogue. Democracy in isolation cannot happen. Democracy cannot happen, cannot work, cannot exist in vacuum. Democracy has to have a basis of vibrant dialogue, universal dialogue, dialogue with everyone, dialogue at every place, dialogue in every form. Every form, I'm saying. We can discuss it later on sometimes. Dialogue in every form, dialogue on every subject, and dialogue on every problem. Only then the democracy becomes vibrant. So when right now in Nagpur, we have got legislative assembly in session. When I was coming, there was a big morcha rally by the Adivasis. There are about 20,000 Adivasi people. They were going and all the vehicles were stopped. Somebody said, don't have any work. Really? They don't have any work? Adivasis are on the street because some of their rights are hampered and they want those rights back. If the legislatures don't listen to them, what will they do? They will come onto the road and shout that we want our rights. It is their right to come onto the street and demonstrate. This man who said that they have no work, so they are doing it wrong. So friends, human rights are important and human rights are same for all. For human rights, we require democracy, vibrant functional democracy, and for democracy, we require dialogue. Who will give us the human rights? We the people, we the citizens, our constitution. This is very important to understand in a very religious country like India. We all say that upar wala hai to dega. No. The rights bestowed by the constitution have to be implemented by the people of India, the citizens of the country. And it is our responsibility to see that the constitution is implemented in its right spirit. The constitution is implemented in the right manner as envisaged by the founding fathers. So if the citizens are not aware of these responsibilities and rights, we cannot make the rights implemented. So the most important thing, let us join hands, all of us. It's not just 14 or 15 people who are 15 people who have joined this session. Let us say 15,000. Let us say 15 million, 150 million, 1,500 million. Of course, we are yet to reach the 1,500 million mark. But they say that by 2030, India will surpass China in the number of people. So it's 1,500 million people who have to join hands, directly, indirectly, to protect the human rights, to protect the democratic institution, to establish a dialogue and establish a wonderful, vibrant democracy in India. Thank you. I think I'll stop sharing.
Okay, sir.
I'll stop sharing so that we can all appear. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir, for this insightful talk. And now I invite our participants to ask questions. So you can raise your hand if you have any questions, any comments or reactions, and please feel free to share and discuss your observations with our speaker and with your fellow participants. And I can also see some comments in the chat box. So I think it will be better if you can just raise your hand and you can share it with the speaker directly.
Or you can ask a question from the chat box, no problem.
So we have two comments in the chat box. So maybe if Alamullah, if you want to share the comments directly with the speaker, I think that will be great because you will get a chance to interact. Would you like to speak or should I just share your comment directly? Okay. I can share your comment in that case. Okay, so Alamullah says, while these things are only on paper, it remains to be seen how much they are actually implemented in reality. It is essential to assess the potential of these plans and their success in achieving the desired outcomes. This is his first comment. And the second comment is, so would you like to give a response for this right now or should I?
Yes, as you wish. Whatever you wish.
Whatever suits you. It's completely
okay,
fine.
We'll take one by one. Yes.
Okay.
Alamullah. First thing, they are on the paper. It is a good thing or a bad thing? Good thing, right? They're on the paper. There is a guarantee. You have something to fall back on. So let us begin with that these proposals, these aspects, the constitution, constitutional values are on the paper. No judge, no politician can ignore them. They cannot. Now, so first thing first, they are on the paper. It's a matter of happiness for us. They are on the paper. Compare that with Afghanistan. Today, they have passed a resolution on the paper that all universities stop admitting women students in Afghanistan. On the paper, they have put it. What does it mean? From tomorrow, no young girl, generally a girl is 21 when she enters graduation, girl or a boy. So any 21-year-old Afghani girl now cannot enter the university. It is on the paper. And compared to that in India, we don't mention boy or a girl. Right to education is a fundamental principle in India. It is good. Now, if some parent, some useless man says that, no, I will not send my children to education. I'll send them directly to work. Now, we have a provision against child labor. So a child, boy or a girl, can go to the court saying that my father is forcing me to work, whereas I want to get educated. The court can direct not only the father, but also the authorities to see that the children don't work and they're sent to the school. Simply because these rights are not at the mercy of any individual. These rights are bestowed upon us by the Constitution of India. So, what you have said, Alamullah, that they're on the paper, yes. To begin with, very good, they're on paper. Now, second, in practice, what should we do? Now, as a teacher, I'll tell you what I did. Sometimes my students, girl students would come to and tell me, sir, my marriage is being fixed. I would talk to the parents, call the parents. Sometimes I have visited the houses of the parents. And the parents would say, she's our daughter. You have no business. I said, yes, I have no business. But as a teacher, I want to protest. And what I would say, okay, fix the marriage, but don't get her married unless she becomes a graduate. So that by the time she graduates, it's 23 years. I will tell, other colleagues will tell, in parent-teacher meeting, will say, we know it's a personal matter, but we also know it's a social matter. So what is on paper has to be implemented not by any force of the sky. I'm sorry, nobody comes from the sky to solve our problems. इस अंजुमन के राज छुपे हैं, कुछ देर तो छोड़ दे जिक्र आलम बाला की, इस अंजुमन के राज छुपे हैं इसी अंजुमन. So for some time, forget the mention of the sky, that is the heaven and heaven. The problems of this earth are to be solved by the tools of this earth. So we have, as you said, the rights are there on the paper. We have to see that they are properly implemented. A very powerful man like Asaram Bapu had seen that nobody will complain against him. He was so powerful. But who got him in the jail? A 15-year-old young girl. And she was determined to send Asaram Bapu into the jail. So much of pressure. Crores of rupees were offered to that girl, threatening. But that girl said, I will not withdraw my FIR. And friends, one of the most powerful godmen of India is behind the bar. Only because that girl used the power that was on the paper. And I don't know who taught her, who educated her about these rights. I salute that girl and I salute that teacher. So, Alamullah, unless we understand the constitution and constitutional provisions, and unless we act upon it, it is theory and practice both. Without theory, practice is blind. And without practice, theory is useless. So we need a theoretical understanding, and we want to implement them in practice. Then the problems are solved. I hope you got the answer.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I hope so. So, sir, the next comment is also a little bit similar to it. So I think maybe we can skip it and we can open, like if someone wants to ask any question, you can just raise your hands and you can ask the question directly.
If they don't ask questions, it means two things. I have not done justice to the lecture, or all the participants are super intelligent. I think the second one is true.
Please feel free to ask your questions. If you have any doubts, any queries, please feel free to clarify it here.
Our title of the lecture is Dialogue.
Yes.
आपने बात की राइट टू एजुकेशन की, और जैसे अगर कोई लड़की बुर्का पहन के अगर कॉलेज या स्कूल जाना चाहती है तो वो जा सकती है, लेकिन हम देखते हैं कई मर्तबा के कोर्ट के जरिए अभी हाल ही में जो कर्नाटका में पेश आया, आपने भी देखा होगा वो कि किस तरह से हाई कोर्ट ने ये फैसला दे दिया कि पहन करके नहीं आ सकती हैं लड़की पढ़ने के लिए कॉलेज में। लाखों की तादाद में मुस्लिम लड़कियां और बहुत सी लड़कियों ने अपनी एजुकेशन ड्रॉप आउट कर दिया। मेजिटेरियन पीपल की जानिब से कोई की तरफ से
Alamullah, I'm really sorry. We can't hear you. I think there's some connectivity issue.
How you will just
ask him to write the question?
Yes, yes. Alamullah, maybe you can just type your question because we can't really hear you. There's some connectivity issue. Is there anyone else who wants to ask a question?
What Alamullah said. This question was asked to me in Karnataka. I said, had I been a Muslim girl studying in that college, what I would have done? For me, the education is of paramount importance. I would have found the best way out of it. They said, no hijab, okay. For temporary no hijab, I would have completed my education, become a lawyer, and fought against the system to get the human rights to the Muslim girls. That would have been a better option than to sit at home and forego the examinations. You are getting entangled in the dirty designs designed by the opponent. I'll give an example. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar was a Dalit boy. When he went to study, he was told by the upper caste people that they will not allow him to enter the classroom. Not that young 6-year-old, 7-year-old Bhima. What did he say? Okay, I will not enter the classroom. I'll stand outside the window. You teach inside, and I will study from the window of the classroom. From up to 6th standard till the primary education, Bhimrao stood at the window and got education. He did not go away. He was insulted. He was not allowed to touch the water pitcher. He was not allowed to come inside the classroom. But once his teacher, Shastri, he asked a mathematics question. Nobody in the classroom was able to solve. And the Shastri said, no. Bhima raised his hand. I know the answer. Shastri said, okay, you make way for Bhima. The class was divided into two. Central part was vacated. Bhima walked through it, solved the question, and went out. That is what is a thing for all of us to learn. Don't deter yourself from the goal. Now, when I speak here, I speak outside also. Frankly, I speak against the hegemony of the people in government. I speak against the religious bigots. They may kill me sometime. Okay, but I feel at the age of 62, I have lived a wonderful life. Even if I die tomorrow while giving a lecture in support of democracy against the religious bigots, I have no objection. So when you have that guts in you, and you know your goal is very important, then nothing will deter you. So my call to the Muslim girls is that under any circumstances, don't leave the path of education. Ikra bismillah jika. Learn, because we have told you to learn. Learning is the most important, most pious, sacrosanct job in the world. Quran says this again and again. Learn. We have given you the wisdom. Use the wisdom. How will you use the wisdom unless you don't learn by sitting at home? No. So what I'm saying, that we must understand what is good for us. Let us not get into the dirty designs of these religious bigots. This country belongs to us. Not only this country, this world, the earth, Mother Earth, belongs to all of us. And the blood inside a young Muslim girl is the same as the president of the country, not difference. So we must understand how to protect our rights. This is very important. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. My name is
Yes,
Arafat.
please go ahead.
Am I audible? You just mentioned that if I would have been at his place, I would have done, I would have gone for the education and would have compromised on my dignity. Was it such a big and huge issue that a piece of cloth is a matter for them? That mere
I did not say. No, I did not say I will make a compromise with my dignity.
When we
I
are
did not
talking
say
about that, yes, we fight for our rights. It is her right, whether she wears it or not. Who are they to decide what should I wear, what should my mother, my sister, my daughter wear or not? If she would have compromised, yes. If she would have compromised, yes, I will leave my hijab and I will go for the education. What if tomorrow the government has demanded that you cut your hand and you get the job?
Should I answer?
Yes.
I did not say make compromise with the dignity. I'm sorry. You have put wrong words into my mouth. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't go to that extreme. I never ever said that please make compromise with your dignity. Is that clear, Mr. Arafat? Is that clear? Open your mic and say. I never said make compromise with the dignity. I will never ever use that statement for any girl on this earth. Dignity of a girl is very important.
Choose between the two. Choose both. Choose both, not choose one.
No. Let's see. Again, you are talking from the extreme side. I have not said that.
No,
I have not said that.
Both means
don't put wrong words into
whatever you wish.
What I said. Listen, what I said. For me, completion of education is very important. Nobody told you to take off your clothes. Just putting a dupatta in our head. In Quran, it is nowhere mentioned what should be the length of the hijab, or it is not mentioned. Show me. I got Quran here. Should I take out? Please.
Fine. Don't make an issue. Whether it is written there or not.
Listen. When I'm saying, listen. Quran says, Holy Quran says a girl must be presentable in a dignified way. Now, Mr. Arafat, you will not decide what is a dignified way for a girl. It is let a girl decide that. Why don't you allow a girl to decide it?
That is what I am saying, sir. I am saying the same thing.
Listen. In Iran, thousands and thousands of women have come out and burned the hijab. I say whether they wear the hijab or burn the hijab, it is their right. Nobody should stop those girls from entering the university. Nobody should stop those girls from working place. It is for them to decide what is important. They respect Allah. They respect Holy Quran. They respect the religion. Not only they, everybody respects the religion. But the length of the beard, should it decide the sense of dignity? No,
I'm not saying you are taking my you are going in a wrong direction, sir. Please.
What I'm saying, we don't ask anybody to make a compromise with dignity. No, dignity is decided by every individual. Let that individual decide. I have only said one thing, that getting educated is the birthright of every child on the earth, not just India. On the earth, getting education is the right. It is the responsibility of the government to send education to every child. Now, the government of Karnataka and the represented, unfortunately, the legislators sitting in the Karnataka legislative house, they did not discuss with them. Why to make an issue of non-issue? For me, it is a non-issue. Yes, I agree with you. The government had no business to tell the girls to whether to wear hijab or not. I agree with you. 100% I agree with you. What was the solution that I'm saying? I cannot go and catch the collar of the Karnataka government. They will not listen to me. I'm concerned about those girls, poor girls who made all preparations around the year, and just before the examination, this nonsense, I call this a dirty design to keep away a section of the Muslim girls away from education. It is a design. Why don't you understand this? So just for a period of 10 days of examination, just for a period of 10-day examination, you modify your hijab so that you are able to give the exam. That is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you make a compromise, but I'm saying get educated. You should be educated, because if you are not educated, you will face economic backwardness. You will be the worst sufferer. You know, the Iran Nobel Prize winner, I'm forgetting the name of that lady. About 10 years back, that lady got Nobel Prize. And some Maulana issued a fatwa that her dupatta was so small. So that lady, a brilliant lady, she said, it is none of your right to tell me what should be the size of my dupatta. I'm educated, I know Quran, I know Islam, and I am ready to have a debate with you. So that Maulana is not ready to have a debate with you. Which is, I don't consider woman as equal to me. What? You don't consider woman as equal to yourself? Your mother is not equal to yourself? So friends, what I'm saying, let us become modern by thought. Here, one thing. Number two, what I am saying, that we have to defeat these people. I want these girls to be educated. I told you, let that girl become a lawyer, go to the Supreme Court, and then tell what Karnataka government has committed a mistake. Let them fight. So they have to fight their battle. We are with them. And as I said,
sir, excuse me, sir. I have a question. There is selective targeting of people to depriving their rights. Very recently, government scrapped the Maulana Azad National Fellowship for that. Most of the Muslim, PhD scholars will take benefit out of it. And would you say that, okay, fine, there are other scholarships, post-matric, pre-matric scholarships, which are given up to the...
Who said it is okay?
No, I am not saying...
Who said it is okay?
I am just... No, it's a question mark.
You want my opinion? You want my opinion?
This is my opinion.
Take my opinion, no?
This is my opinion.
So I think Arfat wants to bring this point and he wants to have a dialogue with you. So
it's not,
he's just bringing
blaming you. You are responsible. You will do something. I know you are a professor. You will teach students only. And I'm a student. I have to learn all these things only. This is the way I'm dialoguing with you. It's not that I'm putting all things on you that you are responsible. I'm not doing that. I'm just adding more things to the discussion actually.
Right. Now I had told you at the beginning, who has to protect the Constitution?
It's the people.
Yes. It means you and
me. All.
Correct. We all. Right. And I also said that today in India, there is a difficult environment, different environment. Under these circumstances, we need to fight. How do we fight? Intellectually, by having dialogue amongst ourselves, by reaching to maximum people. When even Hitler was defeated, one of the most powerful dictators of the world, he was defeated. Mussolini was defeated. And when Mussolini was hung upside down, Hitler saw that and he understood even German people will do it to me. He killed himself. What I'm saying, rights will not come automatically. And rights, as you had said, written on the paper, they have to be implemented. And the kind of people we send to legislature or to the parliament, we must be careful while sending them. Do you think in parliament people are not fighting against them? There is a big fight going on in the parliament. It's not just Ahmad or Yugal Rayalu who are disturbed by these happenings. Many members of the parliament are disturbed. I was with Rahul Gandhi at Shegaon, Bharat Jodo Yatra. I joined. There were 2 lakh people in the ground, 2 lakh people. That was a historic, whichever political party you belong. But what I am saying, coming together is the beginning. We need to come together. We cannot, in isolation, start blaming this and then and start thinking, ab mera kya hoga? No. We have to come out, join hands and fight. And to fight, we need to keep ourselves alive. If we don't keep ourselves alive, we cannot fight. When I said that about that girl, you become emotional. What I said to those young daughters, my advice is appear in the examination. Even I stand on my advice. Appear in the examination. Become strong. Become educated. Become lawyers. Become engineers. Become IAS officers. Enter the IAS officer. Become a big officer. Become the Prime Minister of India. And then change the laws. By weeping at home, by going away from education, you are not serving your purpose. That is what I said. It's not making any compromise anywhere. It is, it's like war. In the war, we respond to the situation. If the opposite person is coming with a gun, we need to have a gun. If we don't have the gun, then we hide behind the rock. We just don't say that, go and come and kill me. You need to change the strategies. I can give a number of examples where big people, honorable people, they change the strategies responding to the situation. In military, they said take 2 steps backward so that tomorrow you can take a step forward. That is what I'm saying. I'm not saying make any compromise. I am saying adopt the best strategy, which will.
Yes, I got, sir. I'm not accusing you of.
Okay.
I got it, sir.
No.
I got
I'm
it. I'm
not taking personally. What I'm saying, the approach has to be correct.
I thought. Yes, obviously, sir. I thought you take it personally. I'm sorry.
No. I'm not taking personally.
But
I'm
my
not
question,
at all taking personally.
I was in a kind of a dialogue to know from you or other people that
my
these
best
things
example
are
is Yusuf Malala. I will give that example. What did she do? Did she stop her education when the Afghan Taliban hit her? No. She changed the place of her education, but she continued education. That is what I want. Education is very, very important. And these people, the people in Karnataka who wanted to stop this particular community girls from education, they want only one thing. Next generation, there should be no educated person in this community. Simple. So tomorrow, they don't even have to defeat you. You are buried alive without education. If you don't have education, Savitribai Phule and Fatima Sheikh, what did they do? The cow dung was thrown on them. Did they stop? No. Did they fight? No. Savitribai Phule used to carry a separate sari in her bag, a spare sari. You know that? Savitribai Phule used to carry a spare sari in her bag, go to the school, change the sari, and then come. So that is what I say. That you have to be in the battleground. And for that, education is very important. For me, education is really, really very important. That's why I said it. Good question. I have no problem with those questions.
Thank you so much, sir, for this elaborate response, and I hope that we got the chance to engage in discussion. So we have a common question from our side. So as you mentioned that there are so many issues like identity politics, injustice, which is hindering dialogue. And at the same time, we also know that dialogue is a solution to all these things. So we wanted to know from you, what do you feel, how can we bring in dialogue again yes, how can we make people understand? Yes.
Yeah, very good question and very pertinent question. The atmosphere is vitiated. Yeah, we know. See, we have people thinking like us. The entire Indian population is not thinking that way. We have people, what we call as progressive people. I hope you understand what is a progressive people, modern thought, secular people. We have to find people like us. And the most important is when somebody is trouble, somebody like us, like me, is in trouble, I must go and stand with that person. Unfortunately, we don't do this. Unfortunately, we think that this person is alone. If I go, we both will be alone. But we forget that if I go and stand with Arafat and Rayalu will become 2. And the third person comes, Jabbar will come, we become 3. Then maybe Prajapati will come. Somebody will come. So one by one, we'll go on increasing. Solidarity is very, very important. So whenever Hathras girl, so I'm staying in Nagpur. It is about 1,200 kilometers from Hathras. But we had a rally, Justice for Hathras girl. It makes an impact, big impact. Kathua, Kashmir, we were there on the toes. So let the people know all over the world or in the country that there are people like them. And once, this is called as solidarity, sahyog. So what I'm saying, in these difficult times, there are 2 or 3 things to do. Number one, keep informed about what is happening around you. And unfortunately, the new generation doesn't do it. They don't read newspapers. WhatsApp University will not give you the correct information. Television news does not give you the right information. It is the newspapers. I'll tell you, today's Hindu, today's Times of India, read it. They are impartial. They're editorials. So they have, today there is an article on Corona. So what I'm saying, that this habit of reading newspaper should be reignited, restarted, number one. Number two, social media can be used effectively, very effectively. But unfortunately, the younger generation is limited to Facebook. So many likes, so many dislikes. No, propagate new ideas. Tell the world what you are doing. You know, we have a group, we exchange what book we have read. Whatever books we read, we put on the Facebook that I have read this book and this book is good. Immediately, some 10 people will buy that book and read it. Then we exchange ideas. Or whenever there is like this hijab issue in Karnataka, I have got 1,200 members in my Facebook, 1,500, 30, somewhere, 1,500. I sent a message. The Karnataka happening is bad. Let those girls come to the school. Let them educate. The message was spread. So let us use the social media to connect with each other for a dialogue. Social media is not just to post your different photographs or, okay, to some extent that is okay. But exchange of ideas is very, very, very important. I tell you, it is the impact of social media that the movie, that Pathan movie is not banned. Otherwise, they would have banned this movie. It was the impact of social media. Every now and then they're bringing, how can you disturb? When other people wear saffron bikinis, you have no objection. It's only because of Deepika Padukone wearing a saffron bikini and dancing with Shah Rukh Khan. Simple. Deepika Padukone had gone to JNU. Shah Rukh Khan had talked about atmosphere of fear, so they want to boycott the movie. As simple as that. But people supporting them, millions of people in India who are supporting them. So make use of the social media. And lastly, the most important thing, become proactive. Come onto the street, join demonstrations, join any event where we are talking of democratic rights. So their connectivity will be, so democracy, human rights, and dialogue, all the three will be complete.
Thank you so much, sir, for the response. We have another question by Mona Lisa. So Mona Lisa, if you want to ask the question directly, it will be great. Otherwise, I can ask the question on your behalf.
Thanks, Soya. Namaskar, sir. Actually, you mentioned that solidarity is a very important component and an element that we need to concentrate and focus on because we are a very diverse country. I'm speaking about India, being an Indian. And there have been media houses which have been exposed now because of the propagating, conflicting ideologies that they have been sharing.
You're not understood the question.
Yeah, I've not asked the question yet. So my question is, how do we supplement information for solidarity amongst young minds today? Zoya, were you able to hear?
Yes, I could hear the last, like the main question.
Okay, is it better? Can I repeat it again?
Yes, you can repeat it.
Okay, thank you. So, sir, what I was mentioning is media houses, like you said, is one of the, in a good way we can use it, but they have been propagating a very conflicting ideologies, which has not served the nation. I believe it is the divide and rule which hinders solidarity amongst youngsters. So, how do you propose that we supplement this information on solidarity amongst youngsters of today?
Very good, very good. Now I understood. Number one, this media is biased. Out of the 17 channels, almost 11 to 12 channels are owned by one corporate house. And this corporate house wants to sing the praise of the present government. Let us understand one thing very clearly. A journalist must always ask questions to the people in power. Any journalist. It is the duty and responsibility of the journalist, media, to challenge the people in power. It's not my party or your party or this party or that party. People in power are answerable to the people of the country. Unfortunately, barring one or two journalists, all these journalists, what they're trying to do is hide the truth. They hide the truth. Unfortunately, that is true. So what do I do? What do we do? As I said, the print media cannot write untruth because you can use this as a proof. You can go to the court of law. Of course, even for a TV channel talking nonsense, you can go to the court of law, but it is very difficult to record it, preserve it, and prove in the court. But a wrong statement in the newspaper can put the editor of the newspaper behind the bars. So generally, newspapers don't give misinformation. They spread misinterpretation. The main information is true, but the interpretation is different. So as I said, let us read good newspapers. And in India today, there are good newspapers. If you remember, in Uttar Pradesh, where a lot of dead bodies were buried on this bank of Ganga, there was one newspaper, Hindi newspaper, Dainik Bhaskar, that had published the photo on the front page. And you know, I met the editor of Dainik Bhaskar in Nagpur. I congratulated him. I said, it's a fantastic thing to do. And he said, what you know, our sales have increased after that. So please read the newspapers, number one. Number two, the kind of program now we are doing. You see, people don't join. Some people become lethargic. No, if you sit at homes, things will not happen. Like our generation before 1930, the whole generation was on the streets. They were either in the streets or in the jail. Bhagat Singh was hanged at the age of 23. Kalpana Dutt was a young girl of 21 fighting with the British. Captain Lakshmi Sehgal challenging the British army. So we have to do that. Sitting in the comfort of the homes will not solve the problem. We have to come out and join hands with each other, like-minded people, secular people, and talk. And today, you know, I'm surprised. These people have made secularism is such a dirty word. Nobody talks of secularism, as if India has become a Hindu Rashtra. Sorry, India is not yet a Hindu Rashtra. India is secular, and we must demand that people in power, their behavior must be secular. And remember, being secular does not mean atheism. Being secular does not mean giving up your religion. No, it doesn't mean, but they have projected. So people like me have to fight. I regularly write articles on this, about our secularism. I go and deliver lectures on the importance of secularism, constitution. I learned, I'm not a man of political science. I'm a man of engineering. But then I understood that I should speak. We need thousands and thousands of Yugal Rayalu. We need thousands and thousands of Joya Ansari. We need thousands and thousands of Mona Lisa Carr. Not just Mona Lisa. No, thousands, hundreds and thousands. Only that this country will be saved. Remember, if we don't save this country, nobody will be able to save. That we must understand.
So we have another question by Pragya.
Prajapati has raised hand.
Pragya, it's Pragya.
Has Akanksha also raised her hand? She can, let Akanksha go first. Then
No, you can go. I just have a comment. I'll do it later.
Okay. So, sir, you basically were talking about the best case scenario. Best way forward in case of the Karnataka girls. Do you have any insights on what is the best way forward or the best case scenario that the Kashmiri people can do to solve gain their rights and solve under democracy?
Yes. It's a very important and very intelligent question. Very nice. As I said, the people in democracy are the supreme, and Kashmir belongs to all the Kashmiris, not just Muslims, not just Kashmiri Pandits, to all the Kashmiris. And unfortunately, the political class in Kashmir has not done justice to the Kashmiris. This is very unfortunate. When this is unfortunate, our only hope is on the new generation, especially that generation that has moved out of Kashmir, got educated in different parts of the country, and know what is India. It is easy to fool those people who don't move out, but it's not easy to fool that generation that moves all over the world. So it's this young generation that is educating themselves in this IIT, that IIM, or engineering colleges in Karnataka, Nagpur. When they will go back again, they should stop living for themselves. That will be very, very selfish. You seek job, do something, but get connected in Kashmir with each other. That's the most important thing. And I'm again reminded of the people before 1930. They were not sitting at homes. They were not worried about what will happen to them. They were worried India must become independent. Today, we are worried about saving the democracy of India. If we don't save democracy, democracy won't be solved. So 2 or 3 things. Kashmir is, as I understood, have a different identity. I got some friends. One of my students was a Kashmiri. She used to say, sir, our Kashmiri Islamiyat is not like the other Islams. We have a different Sufyana Islam. I don't know. I cannot explain. But he said, we have a different heritage of Kashmir. The young generation must talk about this. Number one, that Kashmir has its identity. Number two, without Kashmiri Pandits, without Kashmiri Muslims, Kashmir is incomplete. These are the main players in Kashmir. And these 2 main players join hands. Kashmir cannot be saved. And I tell you, Kashmir's Kashmiriyat is beautiful. It has no parallel anywhere in the world. And as a citizen of this country, I would like to preserve that Kashmiriyat of Kashmir. The present government, by invoking Article 370 and all that, bringing people from outside, they're trying to play with the culture of Kashmir. Culture of Kashmir is something very sacrosanct, very important. Language of Kashmir is different. So we must preserve. And for this, Kashmiri Pandits and the traditional Kashmiri progressive-minded Muslims, they must join hands and show the hand to these dishonest politicians. And of course, educated people must enter politics. Without them, the politics in Kashmir will not be cleaned. Otherwise, the same players, one by one. Alternatively, you deceive Kashmir, next time I'll deceive Kashmir. Then again, you come, no. Clean the Kashmir of all these old, dirty people. Bring new blood and respect what I say, Kashmiriyat. Let us understand Kashmiriyat. And that Kashmiriyat must be told to the world. Only then Kashmir will be saved. Nothing else will save Kashmir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Akansha, you can share your comment.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I think Arfat has left, but by the way, like the urgency of the matter of this urgency, because of the education, because of the girls' education, especially, we have that kind of democracy still, because they are going to hear this case in the Supreme Court, as there are around 70,000 cases are still pending. But because of the urgency of this girl matter, and especially in the education, so I just wanted to mention this. Still, we have a kind of faith, and we also need to have some faith to, protect the democracy, and we still have some kind of interconnectedness to each other to maintain the democracy. So I just wanted to respond to the earth, but like you cannot just say the local goat what had said. You cannot just base your opinion on the basis of that. You still have a kind of many more chances to fight for your dignity, fight for your rights. So I just wanted to mention that as well. And with that, here, like in my opinion, I'm just talking in general, like what I had heard about all these things when this issue was raised. They were not talking about what the girl want to wear. They were talking about they should wear. That thing was like, and that hurt me a lot. Being a woman, that hurts me a lot. Like you should go college and any place to wear that, and they were not talking about like it's your choice, or it's your, in whatever dress you are comfortable. I know there should be, and I still believe there should be some kind of dress codes for, like the appropriate dress codes for schools, and for, like, you cannot just wear a bikini and go to the school. Like maybe in very pseudo feminist or in very pseudo modernization we can do that, but it's my opinion. Like it's your dignity, what you want to wear at what place. But they were just talking about you should, but not what you want. So I just wanted to mention those three comments only. So that was my opinion.
As an educator, what I say, in the college, in the school, the most important thing is education. The most important. Now we enforce dress code. You know why? You know the real reason? A dress code helps the poorest of the poor.
Exactly. That and you feel a equal position at equal level, and
yes,
that is also my.
That is what I was trying to tell Arafat also. A dress code is not a statement on somebody's religion. In my college, when there was no dress code, the rich girls would change dress every day, rich dresses. And in my class, there was one very poor girl, same salwar kurta, Monday to Saturday. So one day I asked that girl, I asked her, "Beta, what is your problem?" She said, "My mother cleans utensils in the houses, and that is the only source of income for us." Immediately, I told one of my lady teacher to give her a salwar kurta as a gift. So we gave her a gift, and then she had another dress. But the moment we enforced dress code, a typical color salwar kurta, that girl was very happy. You know what she said? Just 2 dresses and my year is over. I don't need to buy another set of clothes. That day I realized a uniform helps the poor students very much. It's an economic thing. Anyway, so what I want to say, when I look at a Muslim student, Muslim girl, I don't look at her as a Muslim girl. I look at her as my daughter. And I know if my daughter doesn't get educated, I will be failing in my duties. It's very important that my daughter gets educated. And when she's educated, it doesn't matter for me what color chappal she's wearing, what dress she is wearing. It doesn't matter as far as she's. Now, my daughter used to come home and wear half pants. Okay, it's her choice. Why should I be worried at home? So what I'm saying, when we make an issue of non-issue, then the main goal suffers. And what is the main goal? Education. And remember, I wanted to tell Arafat also, the education rights to the woman did not come without any struggle. The woman had a long struggle to get education rights. At least in India, we know that. And other countries, let us not talk. And when you look at Afghanistan, then we understand the importance of education in India. So if there is some hitch in getting education, if a girl doesn't have a vehicle to, come to the college, the best gift to her will be a bicycle, not a costly dress. She can wash the dress every day, but how to come to the college? A bicycle, second-hand bicycle will do it. So the issue we must understand, as you have said, that what should be our approach? My approach is, whatever happens, your education must not stop. I'll say your voting rights must not stop. Your participation in democracy must not stop. You should not be stopped just because you're a girl. Not only girl, you should not be stopped just because you're, I'll tell you something. As a young person, I used to hate transgenders. I'm telling you openly. And when it all changed, in 2004, there was World Social Forum in Mumbai. 30,000 transgenders had assembled in Mumbai. And I was asked by a newspaper, English newspaper, to interview the World General Secretary of the transgenders. So I sent a word and the interview was granted. But you know, because I hated transgenders, when I went to interview that lady or gentleman, whatever it is, she had long hair. She was absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. So I said, I want to interview. You know what that person said? Mr. Rayalu, first you become comfortable with me, then we can start interview. And she understood I did not understand what she said. She said, for a day, try to live like a transgender. When you don't know what is your gender, you know nobody will fall in love with you. You know nobody will marry you. You know you will not be a father or a mother in your whole life. You won't believe this 4 sentences she said, and I was profusely sweating. I understood this meaning of not having a gender or meaning of not having a gender identity. And then she called for tea. We had tea. And after I had tea, then I said, okay, now I'm ready. Then she said, the hatred on your face is gone. And then I had an interview. Personal prejudices have no place, should not have any place in your educational institutions, our democratic institutions, or places of our, justice. No personal prejudice. And you know, in Vijay Tendulkar's drama, Silence, the court is in session, there is a dialogue. One woman, she's standing in the court and she says, the biggest tragedy is that men tell us how to be a good mother. You understand? The men who never give birth to any child, they tell us women who give birth to child after a long, labor pain, after 9 months of delivery, we feed the milk to our child. And these men tell us what is to be a mother like. Let us stop this. So let us stop telling each other. And Karnataka also, that should have been left to the girls. Simple as simple. But somebody is playing a dirty game. Very clear, very obvious. So when somebody is trying to play a game, you have to evolve your own strategy to defeat them in their game. And the best strategy is take education by whatever means. I did not quote Dr. Ambedkar's example out of they said, don't enter the classroom. I will not enter the classroom, but I will get education. That persistence, that is very important. That is what I meant. Yes.
Thank you
Good
so much,
questions.
sir, for your
Good
response.
questions.
We can have just one or two questions. So, Monalisa, you can go on. Yeah.
Thank you, Zoya. Very interesting, sir, which you said. Thank you, Akansha. I really love the way you are very passionate about sharing your opinions, and I really love that. Thank you for being you. So I just wanted to actually share something. There is a story which is very common about education, and this is the mindset of Japanese. They actually wanted to close a station, and they realized that there was only one girl who was going to school from that particular station. So they kept the whole station running on the taxpayers' money just for that girl to study. So this is the mindset that I hope we inculcate in our youngsters, in our bureaucracy. If politicians don't do it, it's okay, but it's the bureaucracy who actually should implement. So this is just a share of a comment, and that lone passenger actually changed the whole way in which that small little village developed, because she got educated and became quite renowned and got it back. So this is something that we are also doing in Odisha. We are actually mentoring, becoming the mentors of our villages, of our places that we are from, the schools that we are from, and we are actually taking it into our own onus, to the alumni of the school, taking into our onus to do whatever needs to be done to look after that space and keep it away from being politicized and capitalized by corporations. So this is just a share of thought from my end. Thank you.
Mona Lisa, I would like to inform you, a similar thing had happened in Kerala. In Kerala, the Kerala State Transport Corporation runs the boats, state boats, to fetch students. And in one area, there was one girl. And it so happened that the 10th exams, when they started, other passengers stopped coming. And she had to appear 10th standard examination. She had to give all the 6 papers. So Kerala State Transport Corporation ran that boat service for that a single girl. For these papers, they would and the conductor would issue a ticket to her. She would come, give the exam, and after the exam, the boat will take her back to her village, because her village was in a island, a small island off the coast. So Kerala has got these backwater boat services. They were inspired they were inspired by the Japanese story. See, whether it is Japan or our own Kerala, the importance to one girl's education. We should salute these people. I salute that girl in Japan. I salute the girl in Kerala, and the government of Japan for running the train, the government of Kerala to run the boat service. That is sensitivity. And that is the value given to education. In modern society, education is the foundation of our mutual understanding. So under all circumstances, the show must go on, education must go on, hospitals must work, schools must be open. In Kashmir, almost for 2 years, the internet service was stopped. Now, this is most undemocratic. It is how I can't imagine today without an internet service. Now my lecture 2 is coming through internet. And in Kashmir, they had only 1 or 2 hours they used to operate internet. The business class suffered heavily. And they are saying that we'll make Kashmir a grand thing. Oh, outsiders cannot make Kashmir. Outsiders cannot make India. It is the people, local people, the same people. They have to make it. So we must respect people's rights. This is very important in democracy. If people's rights are not respected, it becomes pseudo-democracy. That we must understand. And, there is a song, Wo Subah Kabhi To Aayegi. We must have faith on that when we are working today, that morning will come, that sun will arise again. the sun of hopes. Let us all keep our hopes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So
Thank
can we
you.
just take one more last question?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So Reshmi ma'am, you can ask your question.
Thank you, Zoya. Thank you, Dr. Yugal. Excellent and very, very significant lecture that you extended. I think the kind of insights that you brought, the broader aspects of human life, which basically entangles us with the social scape and the economic and the cultural, parameters that eventually kind of influences our identity and as a citizen of a territory, of a nation state. I think you really, and what I most importantly like is that you took a position. So sometimes the lectures happens that it becomes a very preachy kind of thing, and then it becomes difficult for listeners to understand that whether we should be with you or not. So I can choose to be against you or with you because you have taken a position, and that gives a lot of clarity in understanding how democracy and dialogue eventually works. Because then eventually we really decide that what kind of narrative do you belong to, do I belong to. So that way, I think really, really a deeply engaging, significant lecture. The second point, which is an observation because I stayed till the last, is that all the men have left except Behzad and you. So, which also essentially means that when the dialogue inclines or reclines towards the marginal, towards the exploited, towards the deprived, towards the oppressed, I think it becomes, the discomfort is palpable. And I will not put it on the men right now who have left, but it is indeed what the this small internet space sometimes represents the whole social mosaic. So that ways. The third point that I wanted to raise is, which you just briefly touched upon, that essentially in your whole lecture, you're emphasizing on the importance of understanding our rights by being educated. And the same example had come to my mind was of Malala Yousafzai. So I would, but then you touched upon that what is the exact importance of education is the economic emancipation that one would undergo. So I think that is something that maybe in some other lecture that we will have chance to listen to you, because then this elaboration, then this whole economic emancipation and the equality of rights and equality of existence itself, materializes. So I don't have any questions to you because I understand that you are an active educator, and as an activist, I would understand you as an educator, and which is extremely important for teachers also like me and other people who are aspiring to be one. So thank you so much.
Just wanted to tell you, patriarchy is not so easy to go. Try to understand. And a person who's patriarchal, he's threatened only by one thing. A patriarchal person is afraid of a liberated woman. A patriarchal person is not afraid of a gun. A patriarchal person is not afraid of a wild animal. A patriarchal person is afraid of a liberated woman. The day the wife tells her husband, come on, let us enjoy, the husband just collapses, because the husband thinks that right belongs to me, of giving pleasure to my wife or a happiness or taking decisions. No, the wife is taking a decision.
Absolutely.
A patriarchal person cannot digest the truth that by the woman can stand shoulder to shoulder with me, look into my eyes and tell, yes, Dr. Rayalu, you are wrong. And when Rayalu can digest that, he is no more patriarchal. As I told you, right, these people are saying, what is the right dress? In a swimming pool, a sari is the worst dress. It is a dirty dress.
I was about to, exactly, sir. I was simply, trying to, sorry, I'm just cutting you short because my thought is little aloud. So when Akanksha was saying that, like how should we have a dress code for certain institutions or participating in that particular institution, I think it is more to do with to bring efficiency in the functioning of the institution rather than making it more individualistic. However, I also disagree with a lot of institutional forms, but then there are certain mandatory fundamental ones, like the same one as you're saying, if you go to a swimming pool in a sari, you cannot swim even half a meter. And
not
also in
swimming, you spoil the atmosphere there.
Atmosphere. And also if you go to a swimming school, you have to wear a bikini.
That's
something, yeah. So, please carry on, sir. I want to add one more thought after you finish.
Yeah. And if in a bikini a woman is attractive, what is wrong in that? What is wrong when a woman becomes attractive? The wrong thing is, my woman is not attractive. And an attractive woman is not looking at me. That is the problem with the men. So you appreciate the woman around you. If you don't have that sense of appreciation, so that patriarchal sense must go. And patriarchy is bad. Any religion, any country, in any way, patriarchy is senseless, meaningless. It is outdated. Because we know that men, women, and others, they're all same. Barring the gender issue, barring our reproductive system, entire human body is same for a man or a woman. The brain, the eyes, the kidneys, the blood system, the heart, the lungs. Women run very fast. Women play football. Women can go and run rockets. Sunita Chawla can go to space. What not? And women can be very strong. Why not? Look at judo karate experts. So that kind of distinction is meaningless. Now, with modern knowledge, we must treat everyone as equal, number one. Number two, why should we become judgmental? That a woman who does not dress like this is a cheap woman. Why should we be judgmental? And why? First of all, what right I have to discuss another person, whether a man or woman, on the strength of a character, which is not defined. Today, people are living in relationship. Now, that has done away with the marriage institution. A new phenomena. So I cannot decide what is good for this girl or that girl. Senseless. I should know what are human rights. That's all. A person who is hungry must get food. Every person must get clothes. Every person must have a house to live. Every person must get education. And the time comes, you must get hospital. Apart from this, I should not discuss anything else. Inside your house, you want to say Allah, it's your right. You want to say Ramakrishna, it is your right. You don't want to say anything, even then it is your right. That approach must be taken. Thank you. You were to say something.
Sir, also one more thing, very quickly, I wanted to discuss about the transgender, aspect that you brought in. So I was, because I come from JNU, I think also as a woman, also as a Bengali, there are so many things that probably coincided for us to be culturally a little progressive. I'm not taking a higher moral ground or anything. I'm talking about the entire community. And I got the opportunity to explore the ideas in a much free space than many other institutions. I would like to put it like that. So given that all that context, I had the opportunity to, listen to Arundhati Roy 101. Because JNU has that platform of inviting a lot of, scholarship and public sphere speakers and public intellectuals. So in that context, I want to say that, when we read Unaccustomed Unhappiness of this book written by Arundhati Roy, where she extensively, it's a novel on transgender, and she extensively brings forth the experiences, as in the reality of their life to us. Even while reading, I don't think that when we look at them at the street or when we, judge them, or we do not have the lens to even look at them, So, the way you put it, the examples that you cited and your honesty, I think this should ideally dismantle a lot of discomfort of other people also in interacting. And one should actually go back to reading this book, The Ministry of Unhappiness by Arundhati Roy.
I just make a point. Nobody's born transgender by choice. I'm not born as a man by my choice.
Yeah.
So why should I be proud of my masculinity? I'm not. In the world, there is half the population is masculine, half the population is feminine. Fine. And to procreate, a man should meet a woman. So a man needs a woman needs a man. Both need each other. So why one should be superior and one should be number one? Number two, a transgender is a human being. All his or her needs are same as anybody else. Third, if at all there has to be some sympathy, it has to be sympathy with the transgenders. So that because they have the psychological problem sometimes. So the society must help. And I don't understand, how does it matter when I'm working as a teacher, whether I have a masculinity or femininity or no gender? How does it matter? It is my brain. If I'm a teacher of English literature, I must know English literature. It should not matter whether I'm a man or a woman or a transgender, homosexual, or a lesbian, or anything. Inside the classroom for that 1 hour or 1.5 hours, I must deliver a good lecture. I must teach my students good English literature. That's all. How does my gender matter? How? And whenever we were young, we had to go to medical examination. I don't understand what kind of medical examination. Why? What senseless? How does it matter? So we must become modern in our approach. Every living being has a right to live, not just man and woman. Why we are talking of men and women? Every living being has a right to live. Whether whatever, a whale in the ocean or an ant in the jungle or a snake in the jungle, every living, we have to respect the biodiversity. So in the biodiversity, everybody has a right. So a transgender is an important part of the society, and it's our own flesh and blood. Think about the mother whose child is transgender. How much pain that mother must be having. In spite of knowing that the child is transgender, the mother doesn't kill the child. She rears, feeds her milk, brings him or her up in the hope that the sexual corrective surgery can be done and she or he will become male or female. So I'm saying very categorically, we should never ever laugh at a transgender, never blame them, never discriminate against them. These three things you can do. And if you can employ them as anything with dignity, that will help them. You have to employ them. You should employ in whatever way we can employ them. We must employ them. And if we give the right education to them also, they will also behave properly like you and me. But since the very beginning, we have told that you just clap on the street and beg. So they do it because the society educates them like that. So it is not the transgenders who have failed. It is the society that has failed towards the transgender. Let us make that correction. Okay. Zoya?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you so.
Okay. I enjoyed. It was a
Yes,
very
thank you so much, sir,
vibrant,
for yes.
discussion. And
Yes,
let us
sir.
hope next. There is one man in the group. It's not, 2 men are there still left in the group. It's not just all female.
So
let us
usually we have
celebrate.
the session for, yes, we usually wrap up the session within 1.5 hours. So maybe
Okay.
people might be having work. So that's why they left.
No.
Thank you so much, sir,
grudges.
for your precious
Thank you all.
time.
Thank you very
and
much.
for this-
Yeah.
Yes, for this wonderful lesson. And I thank you very much to all our participants as well for your patience and cooperation. And thank you so much, sir, again, for devoting your precious time. We are really grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.